Everything is all about mindset. My mindset, I think, has been shaped globally. In Africa, when you are the firstborn, it means responsibility. It means showing the example. We had common dreams, and she helped me to believe on my dreams. So one of the way to make her happy is to continue to that path, to go to that destination. Legacy.
Yeah.
That's very important. We will not have leaders if they cannot perceive, see emotional intelligence.
Thank you for being you. Welcome to Development One Topic at a Time, the podcast where we explore big ideas, inspiring journeys, and conversations that are shaping a better future, one topic at a time. Today's episode is another powerful one. My guest is Amadou Saada Tal, Forbes Under 30 honoree, co-founder and manager at Nimba SMS, author, ecosystem builder, and TEDx organizer. His journey is inspiring and commands attention and reflection. He has indeed demonstrated that with faith, passion, and determination, one can achieve many dreams. But beyond the accolades, Amadou is driven by purpose, building systems, empowering youth, and using storytelling as a force for change. In this episode, we go beyond titles and uncover what really fuels him, from launching SaaSs, so software as a service, and communication platforms, to advocating for strong tech ecosystems, organizing TEDx events, and engaging young people in environmental and social impact. We'll dive into the experiences that shaped who he is, what innovates, what helps him to innovate, what motivates him, and the bold dreams he's building for Africa, for young people around the world, and for the future. So, if you're looking for inspiration, clarity, and purpose, whether you are a founder, a creative, a student, or someone who's searching for meaning in your work, you are in the right place. So, let's get into it. Amadou, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for gifting us with your time and positive energy.
Thank you so much. All the pleasure is mine. I think that right now I don't need to present myself because you said it all.
Trust me, I know there's so much more that you can add because I can't count everything that you do. I mean, I'm always amazed by the positive energy that you have, and you are everywhere. Amadou, when people hear your name, they see many titles, as I rightly just said. But who is Amadou beyond the titles? Who are you? Who is Amadou authentically, please?
Amadou is a multi-cap holder. I wear literally so many hats. So I define myself as a world citizen driven by purpose, uh, by the purpose of connecting people, making impact where it is needed, going from what is accessible to me to make change, and to make things uh, happen collectively. So I am a person whose life mission is to co-build with others what is necessary, what is needed to be built in our environment, for our communities, for our countries, for our continent, and for the world. So that's who I am.
Wow, that's a very interesting response, and I am amazed by it. And especially, I note the word co-production there, co-building things, because that is also something that I do in my work, and I see that you are someone who really believes in teamwork and doing things with the community, and that's amazing. And I can't really wait to learn more about, your motivation, your journey, the dreams for Africa's tech, and also youth ecosystems. So let's dive straight into your personal journey and early motivation. Amadou, what experiences shaped your mindset growing up? Because you are very young, but when you look at everything that you've achieved, it's mind blowing. So, what has shaped you really?
Thank you. I think that I am a community made man. I have been made by my family. Like I am from Dingirai, and Dingirai is a big community. Like everyone is related, and I think that we might be related too. so 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 that has been a very important part of my path. So I have been raised uh, um, by my grandmother, and she was the one of the elder of the community, of the whole community, and people used to come share stories, and she used to advise people. So that shaped my way to see people, my way to interact with people. I learned it from her. So, and that contributed to build my mindset. And progressively in my life, I have been around elders. I have been around my big brothers, around my uncles. I was all the time the youngest one, and I was here to listen, to learn, and also to uh, to do what the youngest one need to do, like serving the elders too. So that has been very decisive, because I learned to listen. I learned to interact with people, to discuss, and sometimes to negotiate, because I developed the skill to negotiate. Because when you want something from your elders, you need to find the best way to ask it. So, and that particular skill is today helping me to do business, and to be a good seller for my company, for my business, and for the whole ecosystem. And my mindset, I think, has been shaped globally by the experience that I acquired from my interaction with people, from the family to to the um, uh, to the external environment, and later online, and from the books. So I think that um, I think that that's why I have this mindset.
Wow. I mean, it's interesting that you keep referring to the community, and in your response, you went back to the importance of family and how they shaped your mindset, and also you went beyond that realm. And for someone who's grown up also in Guinea, so the same country where you're from, because Dingirai, for those people who are listening to us and who may not be aware, Dingirai is also a town from within Guinea, a country in West Africa where I am from, where my guest Amadou is also from. And I talk about my African childhood. And in that book that I published last year, I also talk about growing up and how my grandparents in Conakry and also in Mali, where my mother is from, shaped my upbringing and also my mindset. It's interesting how you added the way in which you learn to negotiate through your position as the youngest, because yeah, I think it does forge your diplomatic skills, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you need to say what you want to say and what you want to have in a polite way, but also in a way that would bring about the positive outcome that you're looking for. So that's a very interesting response that I'll really keep in mind.
And today, what is very very important to share is like right now, most of time, I don't need to ask. I just need to interact, and people will naturally give what I needed to ask before. So I think that being the youngest one has helped me to find so many ways to discuss with elders. And I will add another book, a book that I read. So reading is very important.
Mhm.
How to Make Friends by Dal Carnegie. It is actually a very nice book that explore human interactions.
That's amazing. I mean, I think I saw, was that a post that you put on social media or a video that I listened from you saying that, you know, about that author and also the book, and it took me straight back to you know, when I was a teen, and my paternal uncle told me, you need to read this book. You need to read this book. It's very important. And you know, it looks like a big one, but then when you start, it's got very, very, you know, interesting lessons there, and also lessons that are linked to the way that we are also raised in Guinea. I don't know if that's how you felt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There is a lot of common things that he explained
Hmm.
related to emotional intelligence. I think that there is so many similarities, complementarities between what Dal Carnegie explained in the book and what I learned from my grandmother.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, I know your grandmother is a figure that I would really like us to also talk about a little bit later in the podcast, especially in relation to a social media post that you shared recently. And I can't wait for us to talk about that. Um, so Ahmad, what kept you going, you know, when things felt uncertain or difficult in your in your journey as an entrepreneur?
There is a couple of things. And the first one and the most important one, I have so many responsibilities that I that I must cover, whatever what happened or whatever obstacles that I face. In Africa, when you are the firstborn, it means responsibility. It means showing the example and showing the way, and also being a kind of the kind of guide that must uh, um, that is a kind of responsible of uh, the success or the failures of all those who come after you. So most of time when I have obstacles or difficulties, I think about my little sisters, my little brothers, and my parents. So that's one thing that drive me. The second one um, is I learned to have a vision and to have a minimum clarity overview about where I want to go. So most of the time I keep the destination in mind. And if I have obstacles, if I face obstacles, when I face obstacles, I I do arbitration and I found a way to pass by other roads that can drive me to the same destination. And the third reason, lever that drive me is also, you know, my grandmother. We had common dreams, and she helped me to believe on my dreams. So one of the way to make her happy is to continue to that path, to go to that destination that I told her that I want to attend. So all those aspects drive me when I have issues, when things are complicated. I think about those things, and I found a way to continue.
Well, a very logical response and emotional one as well. Yes, obviously, being the firstborn in an African family, there's so much weight on your shoulders. But as you said, you can use it in a way that transforms things into a positive way. But also, when you're talking about your grandmother, it made me think about the nurturing place that grandparents have in our lives, and also, how we connect with them and how that connection sometimes is everlasting. And it has given you so much positive energy and so much you resolve to do things even more, to do things in a better way, and to achieve, to continue to achieve, to because you remember the dreams that you shared with your grandmother. And that's such a beautiful legacy to be carrying.
Um, Legacy.
Yeah.
That's very important. And when I talk about my vision, there is also the destination where I live, where I can leave legacy. Sometimes people used to see me add a hashtag on my post, which is the call of duty. There
Mhm.
is a lot of meaning behind it, but people would discover it progressively because I sometimes my vision is related to that call of duty too.
Mhm. Right. I think I am very curious. I would like to know what that Call of Duty is about. Please, if you could give us an inkling.
Progressively.
Okay, I'll follow you one step at a time. So I'm hooked already. Thank you, Amadou. Now let's talk about building impact through business and ecosystems, because I think it's good to highlight your expertise and also thought leadership to our audience. So, what's the vision behind Nimba SMS, and why do you know C CPaaS or communications platforms as a service, and also SAS software as a service? Why do they matter in emerging markets? And what's the vision behind Nimba SMS, please?
So it is all about accessibility. It is all about giving the African ecosystems the levers that helped other companies, other structure to be to grow and to be big companies, to be able to scale quickly and to be able to survive, because there is a question of survival. Most of small and medium enterprises in Guinea, we talk about 70%. In the startup ecosystem, we talk about 90% of the startups dies before the 2 or 3 year. So there is a matter of urgency. Giving them the right tools, accessible, ergonomic, and effective, can help them to maximize their change of survive, their luck to survive. So Nimba SMS is designed to give them a tool that they can use autonomously, and to connect with their customers, their target audience, to enhance the experience of their customers. Because finally, everything is about experience. If our companies succeed to create a good experience, a good channel to enhance the operations, that can definitely allow them to minimize the operational cost and maximize the ability to sell and to keep their customers, they can definitely survive. So that's why we are working on Nimba SMS, and that's why we are working hardly, and we aim to be one of the solutions to the systemic problems or obstacles our companies face.
Wow. There's so much passion there to solve problems and to add value to the ecosystem in Africa. And that's something that's very, plausible, something that's laudable. So congratulations for being on that path and for all the achievements that you've already witnessed, and been the catalyst for. I mean, in your opinion, Amadou, what does that even mean for Africa? What does ecosystem building really mean for the continent?
Ecosystem building in Africa means giving the minimum element, the minimum levers that um, companies, organizations, youth can capitalize on to execute their plans, to go far, to build big companies, like companies that we can see in other countries like America or UK or United Emirates or China. Like we need to have companies that can quickly scale, and that can that can make their product accessible everywhere they can solve problems. So we need it because our ecosystem, our the environment where our companies operate, there is so many systemic obstacles related to regulation, to the behavior, like how people think. Sometimes for education, like digital literacy, there is so many systemic issues that can be an obstacle for the development of startups. So building ecosystem is working on of founding like solutions, founding alternative, or developing the working on policies that can make things easy, that can allow youth to go faster and to go sustainably. So I think that that is all about building ecosystem, and also federating, energize, working together, and giving each one a chance to be in the kind of curricular economy that can benefit everyone and that can bold everyone.
Wow. So it's all about sustainable growth. It's all about um, co-finding. So not just one person trying to find, but finding as a community, of passionate tech leaders or, or stakeholders, I would say, trying to identify solutions that are relevant to the needs and aspirations of not only the continent, but also the people who live within it. Would that summarize what you just shared?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So there is something that I like for summarizing. I will add quickly that nowadays Nimba SMS and other startups can exist and can do what they can to mobilize funds to grow. But if we want to have so many Nimba SMS, if we want to be as sustainable as possible, if we want to build a legacy, we must join our forces with other startups to make a whole ecosystem that allows so many Nimba SMS to exist by laws, by regulations, by conditions by default.
Okay, and I mean that's a very interesting response as well, in terms of creating those policies or co-creating those policies. To what extent are you involved with the government, for instance, or other key stakeholders in that um, in that direction?
Yeah, so currently uh, we founded the Guinea Alliance Startup, which is the National Association of Startups. And what we are currently doing is to have to reunite to unite all the Guinean startup under one banner and to go to speak to all needed stakeholders, including the government. And currently, we have technical commissions who have been working with public sector to draft the Startup Act, which is legal and regulatory framework for the startups that identify the startup and recognize it officially and give the startups a particular status related to fiscality, related to access to funds and access to markets and all those things. So what Guinea Alliance Startup is doing is to produce document, to produce studies, and to identify experts with who it is possible to work to do a concept note that we can present to the public sector, or that can be the uh, the route from which we can do uh, an advocacy that we can do an advocacy work. So um,
Thank you, Amadou. It seems like a very well planned out and thought of, plan or way to go forward. And it's, I mean, one thing that strikes me from that is the inclusion of studies, because as you know, research is not usually prioritized in Guinea. So I think I really, really encourage you to continue in that, in that direction, because that's a beautiful journey that you are undertaking, and I can't wait to see the outcome of all those efforts that you're putting into this, you and all the stakeholders who are involved. So thank you, all of you.
our pleasure. I think that mm, for for the government to make some decision, they need to have an overview. And what we are doing with that gas, that the Guinea Alliance startup, is to making possible for everyone to contribute to produce data, to produce overview for them to we are helping them to help us,
Yes,
and that is definitely important.
that is definitely important.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, data is amazing because, and also because you are working with other people, it makes it even better because without data, we don't have, as you said, the picture, the picture, an overview of what's really happening on the ground and what policies can be, made from that picture, and who else can we involve in that. So you need to have data to even start thinking about different strategies, to grow. And so yeah, thank you again for that.
My,
Um, yeah, Amadou, you know what I always tell you, you are everywhere, right?
yeah,
You are so passionate and so full of
guilty,
positive energy.
guilty, guilty.
Guilty as charged. MashaAllah, Allahumma barik. You are very, very, very energetic. So I just wanted to know, like, how do you manage your time? How do you manage multiple roles? As, you have the role of a founder, the advisor, the volunteer, and now policy maker, or, I mean, policy contributor. I mean, how do you do all of that? Because we all have 24 hours a day.
I think that only God knows. So I mean, it is very hard, very, very difficult. So I do not have the perfect plan for managing my task. Like, uh, like some hours ago, the president of the Guinea Alliance startup was looking at me like this. Oh, you are in late with your task, something like this. And I think that we are just trying to have as to be as disciplined as possible, because everything is about discipline and creating habits and also prioritizing. So I'm trying to list my different tasks based on my different responsibilities, roles and responsibilities, and it is also something that I learned from my colleagues. Uh, it is a tip, and I'm using some tools like Notion to have the list of my tasks, and to have deadlines, and to maximize on the time that I have daily to work on the urgencies or things that are priority. So that's how I'm trying to manage, and it is a long way. And I hope that at the end I will not have problems related to delays.
Very insightful response. Thank you so much, Amadou. I mean, yeah, I mean, when you're doing many things at once, as you said, it's very important to prioritize and manage your time well. And you were also very honest in sharing that, you're still a human being, and it's not always picture perfect. So I think it's good for people to also take that into consideration.
Mm.
Thank you, Amadou. On your social media platforms, you recently shared, as I said previously, your experience with depression as reflected upon the loss of your dear grandmother. May she rest in peace. May Allah grant her Jannat al-Firdaus. I mean, and I found it very brave, given the fact that men, including those in leadership roles, and especially, in Africa, or maybe I'll say the country that I know the most in Africa, Guinea, where I come from, you do not always have safe psychological spaces to share emotions or mental challenges. So I wanted to thank you again, for raising awareness around this issue now, and also, at the workshop on emotional well-being and mental health that Zenabari Consulting, which I lead, co-organized with Afia EQ, led by Yassine Diallo in Conakry. Again, the capital of Guinea, for those who do not know where that is, in August this year. You were very brave, and I know that you added so much, value to that workshop, and we are very grateful for that. But beyond all of this, Amadou, How are you feeling now? And what else do you want to share about your dear grandmother, please?
Yeah, so thank you so much. I think that the depression and everything related to well-being is a subject that we do not use generally to discuss in in our environment. I think that it is needed, and it is always good to create environment where we can discuss about it, because it is all about human being. We are all human, and it is normal to have emotions and to have feelings. And for me, I used to have, I still sometimes I have those kind of periods, but I think that the most important is to find a way to uh, to correct, to find a way to be out of that zone, because most of the time it is a zone. When you arrive, it is a kind of tunnel. um I don't know if it is the correct word in English, but I use it.
It
so
is. It is a tunnel. Tunnel. It's the same word. It's just it's a
so
tunnel. Yeah. Yeah.
so it is kind of tunnels, and we just need, when we go inside, we just need to find a way to go outside, and to have light, and to keep going, whatever it happens. So for each person, we must discover what can drive us out of that zone, and how we can grow after that period. And definitely I experimented so many aspects, because I used to read a lot about emotional intelligence, about depression, about factors that can bring us into that kind of tunnel. So I discovered some tips, and that I'm experimenting. So it is all about experimenting, trying what can work with me and what cannot work with me. So I found, the last time I had that period, that episode, that doing sport, keeping working on my goals, cleaning my home, cleaning my space can definitely help me. So I did that, and I challenged myself to to have more productivity on my task. And as I said earlier, I have multiple tasks, and if when I have period, it can be very hard to work on my tasks. So I challenged myself to have 100% of my daily task achieved. So I attended that, and I achieved that goals, and I also did sport. So physical sport challenges. So I think that it helped me a lot. And yeah, definitely I had a good relation with my grandma. She was my first best friend. So yeah, it definitely very was definitely hard to lose her. So it can affect, but the the last thing to do is to give up.
Amazing. Amazing. I think that's such a beautiful response. And I mean, your grandmother left such a positive impact on you, and we can all feel it, as you talk about her, as you share, and it makes us understand a little bit more about, your journey and where your passion is coming from, as you shared earlier. And yes, definitely, we are all human beings and we are vulnerable beings. And you know as I shared before, yeah, I went through bouts of depression, postnatal depression, and which is the reason why I actually wrote a book on it, Lessons on Depression, because I felt like, as you said, you need to find the tools and techniques to get through it. And I hope that those tools that I shared would also help other people. And I use the same analogy, the tunnel
Mhm.
analogy is also included in that book. So I'm really, really grateful. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I think that's a perfect segue now for us to talk about your books. I'll be very quick. Let's talk about storytelling, writing, and youth empowerment. What I would really want us to explore emotional connection and inspiration. So, Amadou, you wrote two books, and the titles are amazing, right? I mean, The Dictation of My Soul, and the other one is Corrections. What are the stories behind those titles, please?
When I wrote my first book, I was very young. And for me, it was very important to tell the world that we should listen our soul, that we should listen our experiences, our way to see the world, and uh, we must be proud to describe it. And it was also a way to say that what is inside that book, it can be the story of the person who is holding that book, because when you read it, you will not read it as the dictation of the soul of Amadou Saratal. You will read it as the dictation of my soul, and it will be your soul on that particular time. So there is so many similar life experience described on that book, and yeah. So and about correction is about is to invite Africans, citizens of the world, to particularly the youth from Guinea, also to review, to to question our habits, our ways of thinking, because it is very important when we talk about global change, when we talk about development, when we talk about history and the power about culture. There is so many things that we should question, and there is so many questions that we must answer. So correction is all about asking those questions, calling people to do introspection.
Amazing. I think when I listen to you and when I remember all the things that I know about you, two themes come to mind, and I think they run through everything that you do. I think the first one is about authenticity. You represent, who you are. You want to be authentic out there. You want to show your true culture, your true personality. You share what you have been given to the world, and that's the first thing. And the second one also ties in with the first one, which is I see you as a servant leader, as someone who not only wants to lead, but also wants to ensure that there's always something positive that is impacted on others. Because you were saying, the title of the book is not about your soul, but the reader's soul, that they read, as they read, they identify themselves within the lines of the book. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for being you.
Thank you. I think that it is those kind of leadership that we need in our ecosystems, showing showing the right way, um, making things as normal as it is, because hiding behind titles, or behind uh, how people see us, can um, put illusion about what tips or what challenges people are facing, or what can can what is the good things, what is the takeaways, what are the takeaways from people's experience. And I think that being authentic is the best way to help others to see, uh, to learn and share.
Amazing. I mean, if everything works out for you, Amadou, inshallah, What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Impact.
Okay. What type of impact, and impact on what part of the word, or could you please share a little bit more?
Mindset. Building mindset. Building mindset, because finally everything is all about mindset. If nations can be great nations, it is by the mindset. If continent can be a great continent, it can be from the mindset. If we must be powerful, it will be from the mindset, because everything a human is built to reflect something he has inside him. So we cannot reflect power if in our mind, inside our mind, we do not see ourselves as powerful. So for me, that impact that I want to create is to showing by the example and to making possible other other generation to see that things are possible, and they can be everything they want. They can build everything they want, and they can go from everything, even in the poorest situations or the most difficult situations. So
Yeah,
for me, that's all about the impact.
I think that's a beautiful way of leaving a legacy in this word, because yeah, mindset, as you said, englobes many things, because I see it also as something that gives you independence and the freedom to be who you want to be, as you said. So it removes you from the shackles of self-limiting beliefs, and just knowing that you are enough, knowing that you know you can achieve what you set to achieve if you have the right tools, or if you are passionate enough, if you believe enough in what you want to do. That's something that's really powerful. So I think I also encourage you to continue on that path, and I can't wait to see what more you have to offer. We are almost nearing the end of this podcast. You'll be glad to know, because I know you have limited time. So I'm really, really grateful for your presence here today. I'll ask you a few questions, and I would like you to respond to them as quickly as possible, even if it's just with one word, please, Amadou. So, one book that changed your perspective, not just the Dal Carnegie one, but what other one?
Um, there is a book that I read recently, which defined how Dubai how Dubai become Dubai. I think that it is. I forgot how is the formulation of the book, but it is wrote by the current Prime Minister of UAE and the ruler of Dubai, Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it is it is something about excellence. It is wonderful book.
okay, thank you. What habit fuels your productivity? Only one habit, please. If you could name one, please.
Crushing my task. Don't.
Okay, interesting. One message to young Africans listening, or young people around the world.
Um, Change is possible.
Amazing. And could you please finish this sentence? I believe the future belongs to those who.
Those who can go from what they have.
Amazing. I like the way you stopped there. So you want people to continue the sentence. So that's amazing. So for those who go with what they have.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of today's conversation. A very, very big thank you to you, Amadou Saada, for sharing your journey, your motivation, and the dreams that continue to drive your work. From building ecosystems and empowering youth to using storytelling as a force for positive change. Many thanks to you again, Amadou. And
And you, Bella Bari, for giving me the opportunity to learn and share, and for all what you are doing about raising awareness about mental health that is decisive. We will not have leaders if they cannot perceive, see emotional intelligence, and if they do not have mental health.
thank you very much. That goes really, really straight to my heart. Thank you for those kind words. And let's keep up the good work on both sides. Thank you so much, Amadou. And many thanks to you too, dear listeners. If this episode resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on one idea or insight you can apply in your own life or work. And if you found value here, don't forget to share this conversation with someone who needs to hear it. You can find out more on my YouTube channel, Development One Topic at a Time. So be sure to follow and subscribe for future conversations with leaders, thinkers, and change makers. This is Development One Topic at a Time, making the world a better place one topic at a time. Thank you all for listening. Until next time.